Welcome everybody. This is Conversations with Trish and Chris. We have an amazing guest here today. Her name is Renae, and she is the proud owner of Razzle Dazzle Ultimate Cleaning. And she has now just started in the last month to 2 months, started the process of creating and developing an online business of her own. And I won't share too much more because I want Renae to sort of share her journey and her reasons why she wants to pretty much transition out of her physical cleaning business right way through to an online business. So Chris, welcome here today. Renae, welcome. And I'll just start with a few questions and we'll just see where this conversation goes. We'll just go with the flow.
Yep.
So firstly, Renae, just if you could share, where you're from and a little bit about your background and mainly your journey to date, that would be lovely.
Okay. Sure. So I live in a lovely little quiet town, well, not so quiet anymore, called Cessnock in New South Wales, Hunter Valley, and it's about 45 minutes from Newcastle. It's got a lot of tourism at the moment. Weekends, since the Hunter Expressway was installed, we get a lot of people from either direction coming to the Hunter Valley to spend their downtime, which is great. My journey so far, well, I was a stay-at-home mum for 10 years, and that began in 1995. I did actually meet Trish towards the end of those 10 years of my stay-at-home mum journey during a multi-level marketing program then, and our paths drifted. However, they've come back again, which is great. That's what the value of Facebook is, being friends with somebody for so long.
Yeah.
Don't ever delete your friends, which is awesome. I did go and do a retail job in 2005. And I was doing that for about 6 years and worked my way up to the retail manager of that store, which I absolutely loved. However, the owner needed to move on, as what I'm doing with my business. And so their business sold and I couldn't find a job. I went and did some cleaning with a friend of mine, which turned south rather quickly, because she was a bit selfish, wanted work for herself and didn't include myself. So I had to make a decision, did I want to work with her, for her, or do I want to basically save my marriage because there was no money coming in? So I told her to look after herself and I'd look after myself. And to this day, she still hasn't spoken to me, which has been a blessing. And I started my own cleaning business, which was at a motocross event, would you believe, where these conversations occurred. And a lot of people came up to me during the course of the day and said, we've heard that you're not working for such and such anymore. I said, yeah, that's right. So they said, well, we don't like her. We want you to come and do our cleaning.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's how Razzle Dazzle was born, which was August 2011. And it's been just over 6 years now. And I'll tell you honestly, I made a monster out of it. It's got beyond the size that I'd ever anticipated and imagined. We currently have 17 team members employed with us.
Wow.
And, we've probably employed over 80 odd over the course of that time. But obviously people come and go, which is what happens in the world.
Yeah.
So, yeah, then I found some posts that Trish was posting on Facebook whilst I had a shoulder reconstruction, just August of 2017. And following those stories, and Trish definitely sparked a little bit of interest in my brain, which caused me to click on a few links and go to a website and go to a few other places. And, yeah, my journey has taken a turn, which is great because my cleaning business has given me more than my fair share of injuries, from carpal tunnel to tennis elbow, bursitis, spurs in the shoulders, to having a shoulder reconstruction. So, yeah, enough.
Yeah, wow. It's interesting how you talk about it as a monster that you've created. And it's funny how we take a path, don't we? We take a path, because I come from a very similar background where you create a business and then you think to yourself, what have I created for myself? And it came out of some adversity at first, because there was a challenge between you and another cleaning partner. And, you know, you both sort of parted ways. And it's interesting because my business was very similar. During my business, in my real estate business, I had a partner, or you could call him a field partner, and we parted ways because our values weren't aligned. And at the time, it was devastating, actually. However, it was a blessing in disguise. And a little bit like that for you are those early stages. Would you agree? Like a bit devastating and like shocking. However, out of that came some other journey.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was like if I hadn't hooked up with that particular person to help her with her business, I would not have created the business that I have, because it would have gone a different way. So, yeah, absolutely. It was amazing, the journey that it took, for sure.
Yeah. And interesting too, when you mentioned that, you know, you couldn't work with her or for her, and other people didn't want that either. Interesting that you know that it came to your notice that other people were coming to you rather than going to her. So it just shows you how aligned you can be in your values with other people. And they're the clients that you want, you know, the people who align to your values.
That's right. The people you attract by your behavior and mannerism and character. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's interesting because too, Renae, just recently you had just discovered 3 of your core values.
Yes.
And integrity, honesty was 2 of them. And caring, the third one. Independence. And I think caring, did you mention caring at some stage? Or
kindness, I think it was. Kindness.
Yes, that's the word. Yeah.
Kindness. Because you were just in our discussion saying that I've just, you know, discovered another one.
Yes.
At what stage, so do you think that you have actually discovered those on this journey of creating an online business? Has it sort of made you a little bit clearer as to what your values are and then how important they are?
Yes. The journey for the online business has allowed me to learn about me, is probably the best way to put it. And I'm going to use the words, it woke me up.
Yeah.
You know, it was a big wake-up call, because my business that I have, it was more like being stuck on a train that was only going one way and it wouldn't divert and you couldn't get off.
Wow.
So, you know, this online business is giving me so many more opportunities where I don't feel locked in a cabin on a train that's going to one place and you can't get off. It's giving me a lot more opportunities to explore about me and explore what the world has to offer as well. It's just, it unlocks so many opportunities for so many people. And when I first learned about the online business, I was blown away by the opportunities that it can create, because I thought it might have been just one opportunity, but no, there's many, multiple different ways you can do it to suit yourself. Yeah.
That's very true. That's very true. I mean, I know of many different business models that people have created online, you know, everything from affiliate marketing, selling other people's products and services, all the way through to, you know, a store, Shopify, Amazon. You know, there are so many different, to actually promoting your own products and services. And as a segue to that, you, however, have decided to transition completely outside of your business, correct? To move into a business model called affiliate marketing.
Yes.
Yeah. So
that will be my starting point anyway. Yeah, for sure.
What do you think was a real validation, like clarification that, is there one moment that really stands out to you that says, wow, I am so making the right decision?
There's been many of those.
I was just going to say, I was actually...
I probably couldn't give you one.
Yeah.
However, because I've chosen this path of online marketing, business, etc., and because it has aligned me with my true values, there has been so many occasions where my values have either been challenged or something drastic has happened, which, 6 months ago, I might not have been aware of that happening. I just would have coasted along and just dealt with it. Where, now I feel that I have a brighter awareness, and, when things occur or a circumstances comes about, it's more like, well, no, I don't want that. That's not where I want to be. Where everything that I believe in and everything that I've chosen for myself is in the online business. Absolutely.
Yeah, it seems to me that you have found a part of you that you didn't know existed.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. And I can totally relate to that. Totally. I found for me that it was an unveiling, if you like, of layers of built up stuff through your life, and you just kind of start peeling those layers back, and it kind of reveals this nice, amazing personality that just grows and grows and grows. And I see that in you, even in this short time. It's amazing. It's great.
Yeah. And that's what I'm really looking forward to the most, because whilst I have my current business to deal with until, I sell it, of course, it's like it's a ball and chain around my ankles. It's like I still can't reveal or unleash my true self until that's gone. It's like that little analogy I gave you once before. It's like a monkey on your back scratching your skin off. So until that's gone, I feel that I can't be true to myself or my family or my friends or anybody until that's gone, because it's always going to be, I'm going to use the word hindrance. It's going to hold me back. So that was one of the main reasons why I decided to sell it as well, so that I could, just catapult myself to where I want to be and do it quicker. Yep.
Yeah, it sounds like you have a vision, which, a lot of people probably go through life with maybe some goals, but this is much bigger than that, I feel, for you. You sound very sure of your vision for the future, which is awesome, which is really amazing. Yeah.
I feel good about it too.
It's interesting that we talk about this transitioning. What would you say would be the most difficult part of this transition? Is it something mentally that you have to get your head around, or is it more the tactical part of it, like the logistics of it, or the arranging of this transition? What would you say is the most difficult part of this process that you're currently in, because you are going through that sale of your business? You're having to deal with people, team members, with you knowing that you're actually not going to be around in the future. However, they don't know that. That could be just sort of a little bit of what you'd be going through right now currently.
Yeah.
Does that sort of play around or mess around with your head a little bit? Because there will be business owners that really are thinking, wow, do I make that leap of faith and, sell that business? Because we know of many people that have sold businesses, physical businesses, to get into an online business. And it can be a little scary and a little daunting and overwhelming.
Yeah. Well, the decision to sell my business has been playing around in my mind for probably at least 7 months. However, it was actually when the online business opportunity came forward that was what validated my decision to do it. It was a very heart-wrenching decision because I'm loyal to all of my team members, and I felt the same loyalty in return from, 90% of them. So when I made the decision, it was a very emotional decision because I felt that I was letting them down. I felt extremely selfish. I felt that, I was making the wrong decision, but then you have that tug of war with yourself. And when you imagine, well, what I went through was imagine what it was like not to have my business on a daily basis. And it felt so good. That's what helped me get through all of those silly, crazy emotions, was that it's going to be all right. People move on, people change their mind, decisions get made, and the best thing that I've learned of the online business so far, and it's probably one of the key things for me, is you just have to look after yourself, because no one else is going to do it for you.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
So you continue on trying to please everybody and trying to be that person they all want you to be, then you're not being true to yourself, and you're not going to get what you want out of your life because you're always obliging to everyone else's needs. So that was the biggest turnaround for me, is to learn to be selfish in a good way.
Yeah. That's brilliant. And I think that, because I know that feeling of hanging your hat on a business for I was in business for 10 years with my real estate business, and you hang your hat on that with a potential future, and your identity is attached to that. So it's not just releasing the physical side of the business, it's actually letting go of who you've become over the last 6 years. That's another challenge, isn't it? Because you identify yourself with that business.
Yeah. And that business, it's you, it's your soul, it's your baby, it's your reputation, it's your name, it's your everything. And when things don't go right, if somebody screws up and doesn't do good by you, then, your name can turn to rubbish really quickly. So, I spent a lot of time fixing things and a lot of time building relationships with clients to ensure that, if anything's not right, you just need to communicate, we'll get it sorted. And, there just came a time, though, that I was just people pleasing all over again. Like I've already said, you're just out there doing what everybody wants you to do. You're saying what everybody wants you to say. You're giving discounts because people didn't want to pay full price anyway. So, and now that I've learned my top 3 values, my business is not in line with that anymore. Wow. So it just needs some new energy, someone that can give more life to it. And so I'm still there. I'm still trudging along. I'm still allowing it to grow. I'm being nice to people, although sometimes you don't want to be. But you just, and that's the thing, it makes you be fake. A business in the real world, you have to be fake. You've got to be an actor in some way or form just to get through day by day. Whereas online business, huge. It gives you the opportunity to shine. It gives you that that fulfillment and that purpose that you've always wanted. Even though you might not know that you want something else, the journey helps you find it. That's what I'm finding anyway.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah, that's really a great share there, Renae, because what came up for me as you were talking was when people are in a job, and what Trish said, it becomes your identity, right? Absolutely. You go to work and you wear it like a badge, like you can be a manager, you can be a team leader, you can be a supervisor, you can be anything, but that becomes who you are. Yeah. And everyone around you relies on you to get the job done, right? But if other people aren't doing their job, it reflects on you. And it's the same in your business, see? It's the same with the business model, everything relies, you try and make sure that everything runs smoothly, and you cannot control other people.
No.
You can only control yourself. It's the same in business as you are in a job.
Yeah.
And with an online business, when you are in charge, you're in charge of your whole business,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a book that I read early in my journey. It was called Millionaire Success Habits. And Dean Grazioskis, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but I read that book, and there was a section in there where he gets you to do little questionnaires that will prompt you to find out your true meaning of why. Why do you want to do this, you know? So I did that, and my ultimate why in all of this is control. That's what I want, is just control over my life, control over my day, control over, you know, everything. So, yeah, if there's people out there that are watching this and they feel they've lost control, they need to get into this online business to gain control.
Yeah, that's brilliant words too, because again, we come back to our core values of independence, and we've attracted you as a team member, and you have discovered that your value is independence. Chris and I's number one value is independence. So what's happened is there's been a real attraction of like-mindedness to our team, and that's what we're noticing. And yet in my physical business, I never understood that. I wasn't even aware of that, and didn't understand that the investors, who were incredibly demanding and rude and attracting so much of my time, it all come down to values. They just weren't aligned, and I wasn't clear. So I wasn't putting out a very clear message either as to what I valued the most. And we're starting to learn that very, very clearly in creating an online business. And I think it's all part of this journey that we're taking together, that's making that really, really clear for us. What, because we've talked about your online business and you're starting to create and develop that now, so it's looking really good. What skills do you think, outside of the affiliate, or what sort of business model, are there other opportunities? Because people out there are thinking, oh, well, I don't know what to create. I wouldn't have a clue, you know. Apart from the affiliate model, there are skills that you bring, isn't there, that you could really develop and put out there to the world as well. What have you got sparking ideas?
Yeah, like I've got the skills and the knowledge of being a business owner and having a cleaning business. So, you know, it's something that, you know, I'll never lose. And that's obviously something that, you know, in an online business, those skills could come in very handy to teach to people as well and share that experience. Yeah.
And it's something that you bring naturally to the program. You see, it's interesting, isn't it? Because people don't understand their value or their skills or their qualities that they can bring to an online platform and serve people around the world.
I had the same doubts in the very early beginning, because I thought, I have no professional skills. I don't have a certificate in anything but office administration, which I did probably, 25 years ago. So, you know, I doubted myself that, you know, our experience is our skill, you know, and if people can just embrace that, then they've got a belief to start off with, and the journey gives you more skills as well. So, you know, if you feel you've got nothing to bring, then just learn it while you earn it. It's easy.
You've raised such an incredible, that's a really powerful statement that you have delivered there, because there are so many physical business owners out there that have created and developed their business around their skills, not around qualifications. And if they decide to sell or move on from that business, there are a lot of insecurities that are brought up within themselves about, well, am I employable? Am I unemployable? I know that was the statement I said to myself. I know I was unemployable. What, you know, am I competing against youngsters that have degrees and MBAs and PhDs? And And so those sort of questions do go around their head as a business owner. And whereas there are no barriers to entry when it comes to creating your online business, all right? That's really powerful, and that's only really just come to light now in this conversation.
Yeah.
So 0 barriers to entry.
That's right. No restriction on age, race, colour, sex, nothing. You know, it's desire that's going to get them across the line.
Wow. That's
so
that's
true.
incredible, because that is so true.
Yeah.
If you don't have if you don't have an idea of what you want either, that comes down to desire, because desire means that you want to go for something, you want to strive for something. So if you're happy where you are, that's fantastic. But if you are looking for something more, then that's your desire. That's what you need to tap into to find how to make that happen. That was really, really good, Renae.
Thank you.
It's
sometimes
funny.
I don't even know where this stuff comes from.
Trust it.
Like I said, you know, I'm not a scholar, so, you know, just a life experience, average woman that's going to business.
That's it. It's life experiences without the qualifications.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing too with the business that we've been developing, is that when you decide to make that transition in life, you can go through the education, but you can do it at the same time, rather than do the whole education, 3 years, 4 years, and then get out and then start doing it. This is a whole different journey, a bit like an apprenticeship, really, a bit like learning a new trade. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's no better way to do an online business than the way this one is set up, because you go through the different learning modules and you apply them at each step of the way. And, you know, you cannot progress through the modules unless you've completed them. So, you know, there's no way you can skip anything. So it's kind of fail-proof, you know, but you've got to apply it to make sure that it works.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's very good. That's very good.
And what about learning as you're going through, like you were saying, going through the modules? What happens? Have you ever felt like you've gotten stuck somewhere and you didn't know what to do? What did you do about that? How did you solve that?
I have been stuck a couple of times, but it's a matter of reaching out and connecting to the community. Like I reached out to both of you, which is something I've not done a lot. Like I don't have a close-knit family or friend circle, you know, with my business. It made me kind of very lonely, I could say. So you learn to be independent and make decisions on your own to do all of that stuff. But this journey has allowed me to connect with people who are on the same wavelength, who all have that ambition, that drive, that desire, and we all want each other to succeed. And it's second to none. It's not competitive in any way or form. And if you reach out, you know, it's a lot by Facebook, with the community, and Facebook is just phenomenal. And people you don't know can comment on posts that you put up or videos that you put up. And you just think, well, you don't know me from a bar of soap, yet you're wishing me all the best. And that just fills my soul. It's just absolutely unbelievably heartwarming. And, you know, that gives you so much gratitude, which you can take through the rest of your day. And, you know, because you feel that light spiritedness about yourself, it just gives you more, you know, ammunition to keep going and to strive further for, yes, it's where I want to be. So, yeah, absolutely. Just connecting with the community and the people around you in the journey is the only way to go.
That's brilliant. Yeah. And I think that for those of the people that are watching this for the first time, or watching Conversations with Trish and Chris for the first time, we are part of an educational program that actually shares and teaches you, gives you the training, gives you the tools to get you from where you are now to where you want to be in an online business. And the most valuable part of that process is the community, which what Renae is talking about. And as business owners, independent business owners, physical business owners, we're not accustomed really to reaching out and getting the help or saying that, well, we're struggling or we need some assistance. We're used to having team members, but they tend to be the accountant, the attorney, the solicitor, the lawyer. The independent contractors seem to form part of your team, and you've got your employees. However, there's no one there to really, for you to just reach out to. That's sort of a little bit further ahead of you. And I think,
if you do, it gives you a feeling of weakness and being unsuccessful, where in this community with online business, it's the total opposite. You reach out and say, hey, I'm struggling with this, or I need help with that. You'll have, at least a few people, could be up to 20 people, depending on who knows what, that can say, hey, I did it this way. And you think, wow, that is unbelievable. And just to know that it doesn't matter where you come into the online business or who you come in under, who introduced you to it, the community is there for everybody. There's no, you can't come into our group because ours is a secret. There's none of that. And that's what I love, where if you think of the real world and the real business people out there, like I do know other cleaning business owners, but I'm not going to call on them and say, hey, what would you do in this situation? Because
that's true.
Gold card, it's just not thought of. You don't do crap. And I'm sure if they rang me up and said, oh, Renae, I've done this, what would you do in that situation? I'd probably lie. And that goes against my value.
True. Yes. It does.
Yes.
That is so true. Isn't that interesting? It really is. You're part of another community with your physical business, in a sense. It's known globally as BNI.
Yes.
And that, in a way, gives you some sort of community connection, right? How long have you been doing that for, and what's the best part of that community?
I've been doing BNI for 6 years with my current business, and it was because of that networking group that my business grew to the size that it is today. I put closed business in every month, and just from people that I've connected with, whether they were just a visitor on a day or they were a guest from another chapter or they are current or past members, it's about 20,000 a month that my business turns over just from that group.
Wow.
There's times when I think, oh God, I've got to get up at 5 a.m. to get ready to go to BNI. And then once I'm there, everything's fine. It's just that I'm not an early riser. I just don't like it. But I've always remained a member because I felt compelled to always want to see that next new business that walks through that door, and how could I help them with their business. So for me, it was not about, I need to clean everybody's house that comes into this room. Like, some of the people you don't want to go near on the outside world, let alone clean their home. And that's just, people in general, you just don't connect with everybody. But the BNI networking group has been very powerful for me. I've met some fantastic people that I would never have even thought to seek to help me with my business, like a bookkeeper or an accountant or a financial planner. I would have just taken advice from Joe Blogs down the road, or who do you use, where this way I've been able to build a relationship with people, and those relationships, they last forever, which is what I love about it, which I think is why the online business, it suits me more so, because I'm kind of accustomed to that group networking and helping each other. And, the giver's gain is the main thing in the BNI networking. Yeah, if you don't give, can't gain. And, it's give for me wherever I can. So,
yeah. That's fantastic. Wow.
Yeah.
That's very, very...
Paul,
very
just
powerful.
Sorry,
yeah,
I've got
sure.
an interruption.
I can
I'm on a
pause.
call that's being recorded.
So Great. That's great. Talking about the BNI, talking about what that brought, that value, what it brought to you as a community. And the program that we're all involved in is bringing that. It's bringing a community. And the most important part of that is what we call masterminding. And it's one of the top things that a leader should be doing every single day. And that's mastermind. And they call that, well, there's a quote that's said by one of the leaders, that proximity is power.
Yep.
And if you read one of the business classics, it's called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. One of the success principles in that is all about masterminding. And when you said about givers gain, I don't know whether that's a saying in BNI, but it is a saying. Okay. So it's
one of their mottos. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So that goes back a long, long way, because masterminding is all about not what I can get from the group. It's what can I give to the group.
Absolutely.
And it's a powerful part of the masterminding process within the community that we're part of. And that's, again, why you're connecting so strongly to that. And you're going to carry that philosophy through with you through to this process of building an online business. And like you said, it come back to you 10 times, 100 times, like, you know, a cost of investment into that group, you know, time, you know, 3 hours per week attending a meeting, your registration each year, $1,200, $1,500 per year registration. However, $20,000 per month revenue generated.
Awesome return on investment when you look at the figures. Absolutely. It's
and you can't even measure what you get out of it personally.
That's right.
You can't even measure that, because that's, you know, that's the human factor, right?
It is.
It's the human factor.
I'm looking at ways of remaining in the BNI networking group once my business sells, because I do have to go through a category change, as they call it. However, we've got a marketing guru in the room and also a business coach. So I need to try and find a category that slides in between the two of them, because they could each clash with what our online business does for people. Until I can sort of niche that out, just trudge along. But apparently I could even just be a member of BNI as long as I have an ABN, because it is all about givers gain anyway. So I don't even have to own a business to be a member. So that's really good.
Okay. I think that even there's so many subcategories within an online business. There is a way.
Affiliate. So even affiliate marketing is different to marketing. Marketing is very broad, whereas affiliate marketing is a little bit more niche.
Yes, that's right.
So I think even if you thought about that in some way, you know, it might help you to niche it down.
Yeah, and it will be a matter of having a conversation with both of those gentlemen in the room, just to give them an idea, this is what I'm doing and I'd like to bring it into BNI, because I just want to connect with people that they know that could be stuck in their own world. It's just a different way of marketing what we do to get them involved in, you know, finding that control for their lives and moving on a journey that they ultimately want for themselves.
For sure.
What words of advice would you have for people that are going through a very similar journey to you? Because you are at a T intersection right now. You're at this junction right now. And so you're right in the moment. What would be advice to other business owners out there wanting to make that decision, wanting to make a change to their life and to their lifestyle? What would be that message to them?
I think my best advice would be, and it's something that I got out of the Millionaire Success Habits book, was fast forward your life 12 months and imagine what you did in the last 12 months. That's how I've come to confirm a lot of my decision making. Is, like I said earlier, I imagined what it was like not to have my business and how good it felt. So that's what I made my decision on. Yes, it's for sale. because if you need to make a decision and you're not sure, you know, you need to imagine either having it or not, what that decision and how that's going to make you feel. And I think if you can put your mind, that's the first start of these online businesses as well. If you can reprogram yourself in that small way, then you've got the capacity and the skills already to make those life-changing decisions for yourself. And I guess, you know, if I could have a one-to-one with somebody who was debating, do I sell my business? Do a list. Why should I sell it? Why should not I sell it? And then have a look at both sides of the column and see, you know, where do your true values lie as well? And although, like I was, you felt compelled to remain loyal to your team, you felt that you didn't want to be selfish, you felt like you owed people to stay around forever. But is that really where you want to be? And, you know, a lot of people go into business thinking they're going to have more control. But in my opinion, you lose control when you are your own boss, because it's the clients and the customers and everybody else that comes into it that create your business, that control you and what you do and when you do it. So, you know, there's not a lot of control there. And I know for my business in particular, and this is a huge one for businesses in general, is cash flow. You know, like my wages could be around $7,000 a week, and you can guarantee I've got at least 21,000 in cyberspace waiting to come in. So that makes it really hard to manage paying super and GST and all of those other debts and commitments that you have. And when those sorts of things start to pile up, it really starts to get to you emotionally and mentally. You know, I've been through and still am, you know, I feel sometimes having my business that there is that dark cloud that continually follows you, but you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I've had conversations with my accountant and he says, look, just give it 18 months, everything will work out. And I think, well, I don't have that much patience and time, sorry. Although he could see by looking at stats and figures, I just don't think if I hung on for another 18 months or so, I think I would let it self-destruct. That's where I feel it would head if I started. So just a matter of just be true to yourself. You know, if you are in business and you're enjoying it, everything's great, then great, that's where you need to be, because I've been there. You know, I would honestly say my first 5 years, that's exactly where I needed to be. But then, you know, my shoulder reconstruction was the last straw for me, that, you know, I felt that I had worked way too hard to please everybody else. But, you know, everybody's life is not about people pleasing. And it should be, you know, taught in schools to look after yourself and please yourself. You know, a lot of the A students, you'll hear Robert Kiyosaki talk about it, that all the A students work for the C students, or, you know, whichever way he talks about that. So, you know, you might be a scholar at school, you might be a smarty pants. That doesn't mean that you're going to be, you know, the best business person in the world. That's
very true. That's very true. And we talked about that earlier in this conversation, about the fact that, you know, you actually don't need the qualifications, you don't need the PhDs or the MBAs to actually achieve incredible income and an incredible lifestyle based on you having control and getting your control back. And that's the theme of this conversation. I'm really getting out of that is it's all down to, do you want control of your life, and do you want control over your destiny? Or do you not? Because what's evident here is very clear, which you've highlighted, is that business gave you no control over time and started to compound and started to have this effect, and even started to influence your health. And it was a point where you said enough.
Yeah. And when it starts to affect your health and when it starts to affect your mind, you know, it's your close family, it's your partner, it's your children that all cop the brunt of that. And you don't know you're doing it.
Yeah.
You just
because you're
don't
in
know.
it. Yeah, that's right. You're so in the business that you can't step back and see what it's doing or how it's just having that effect on you. So that's really valuable information for people to try and understand.
It's awareness. It's being aware of where you are, what are you doing, what's affecting you to do it, and you want to change it.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
The most valuable insights that you've shared for me in this conversation was the writing down of things from the book that you shared in this conversation, and the visualizing or the projecting of your future. In other words, saying to yourself, in 12 months' time, either where do I want to be, or does this business make me feel great, or how does that decision impact me in 12 months' time? Because I think it's a very quick, clear, subconscious check on where you're at and where you want to be. I think it's a brilliant insight that's come out of this. And I know even as you were telling that story or telling that that way of doing something, I was tapping into that myself and thinking, I'm pretty excited about the next 12 months and where that's going to be and lead us, even just the three of us, where that's going to be in 12 months' time, which will be end of, 2018, which will be pretty exciting. Where do you see yourself in 12 months' time?
12 months' time. I do have something written down, but I'm not sure where it is right now. But 12 months' time, I see my journey being extremely successful. I see myself having control. I have feelings of utmost freedom. I have travelled. I've been back to Disneyland and went all over America for, 6 weeks. I feel that there is an abundance of income that's being earned every month. At the moment, my vision is around $18,000 a month. That's not what I'm earning right now, but I know it's available and I will achieve that, definitely. So that's when I can start doing that on a consistent basis, that I think the 12 months after that will be when my husband will have the realisation that he doesn't have to stay in his job anymore, because he's very old-fashioned and he feels that he needs to stay in his job. That's where he's going to retire. But, if he wants my lifestyle, he's going to have to quit.
I love that. I love it.
That's cool.
Amazing. Yeah.
And what's the acronym they say for the job is just over broke? That's the yes, I've heard that before, and I think that's just not even on a financial term.
No, but a job, it puts a ceiling on your income, because you become accustomed to that's what you earn and that's all you're going to earn. So most people don't even think about other opportunities that are available to them, and this journey of the online business, you can do it part-time. You can only earn an extra $1,000 a month if you want. But if you want to earn, $100,000 a month, it's there.
True.
Yeah.
Go for it.
And people think, though, when they are in their jobs, that's all they're worth. It's what they're earning now is all they're worth.
That's a great point.
And it's just not. It's just
and that's
not.
where my husband is at the moment. He feels like he has his own fair share of medical history. And he has the mindset that if he was to leave where he is, he won't get a job anywhere else because he wouldn't pass the medical. And, maybe that is factual. I don't know. But for him not to have what he calls job security and for him not to be earning an income and providing for his family goes against all his values. So that's what I'm going to be working on, is assisting him to understand these are my values and getting him connected into what I'm doing to move forward as a family, to embrace and even teach our children to do it as well.
That's really important, Renae. That's a very important thing you've just brought up, because I think that you have to have your values aligned together. Like he has his values, you have yours.
Yep.
But as a team, you have to have combined values of where you're moving towards as well. So that's really, you've got so much insight into what needs to happen. It's really fantastic. It really is.
I don't even know I'm doing that.
So Paul is, your husband is, they're 12-hour shifts, aren't they? And a lot of it can be night work.
Yes, it rotates between nights and days. Yep.
And that in itself can have a toll on the family life. It can have a toll on him personally through his health. And I know of plenty of shift workers and the impact that can have on their health and on their family life. And so I suppose you being that that inspiration, you being that person or that vehicle. I mean, I'm not calling you a vehicle, but I'm sort of calling
guiding
you
light.
Yes. Do you know what I mean? Like for the family to be able to not only teach and educate your kids, your two children about what's possible. Is it 3? I thought it was 2.
There is 3. Yep.
Okay.
That's okay.
3, but teaching them all that what is the possibility. I think you've already taught them a lot through being a business owner, full stop. Taught them resilience and the ability to go out there and create it for yourself. There's so many underlying skills and characteristics that you've really shown your children, but your husband too, to just show them that there is another way to create an income and to create independence. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think because society hasn't approved of it, and it's like, you know, it's only a very small percentage of people that actually participate in online businesses. And I think that's why there's so minimal people are successful at it, because of their mindset that they believe that it's not where society wants them to be, that that's not what they should be doing. So, you know, I always felt as a little girl that I was different to everybody else, but just didn't know why or where will I be or what will I do. But I still believe, though, that everything that's happened and every journey that I've been on, there was a reason for it, and there were lessons and skills to learn from every single thing that has occurred and every journey that I've been on to bring me here. Yeah. So, yeah, look out, world, I'm coming.
Yeah, I know. I have so many more things to ask, but I think that we're sort of just past the top of the hour, and I think on the back of you saying, watch out, world, here we come, I think that's...
Could be part 2.
Yeah,
part 2 could be coming up.
Yeah, that's definitely, we'll just do an installment on this, a progression of your journey, Renae, because I know it's going to be hugely successful. Whatever you've taken on in life, you've been successful at. And I just want to, on behalf of Chris and I, thank you so much for being part of this journey, especially being a team member. It's hugely exciting for us. And
well, thank you for finding it first. Because if you didn't find it, I wouldn't have found it.
Well, that's true. And Chris, that's all credit to Chris, that one.
Absolutely. Yep.
Right?
Yep. Well done, Chris.
Yeah, well, if I wasn't unfulfilled in my job, I wouldn't have been looking either. So I thank my job for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
One good thing, isn't it?
That's true. Yeah. So Chris has given up her job. I've really I transitioned out of my job 12 years ago, and a business owner just like Renae as well. And it comes with its trials and tribulations. The rewards are the experiences that you learn along the way, and we've certainly had a lot of that. And we can apply that now to our new venture over the next 10 years. I see an incredible chapter. And I just want to thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to spend time, conversations with Trish and Chris. And we'll upload this to YouTube, to our channel. So for those of you that are seeing this, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Trish and Chris, all one word. And we're going to be updating these at least once a week. So I want to thank everyone for watching, and thank you guys for being part of this journey today. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Renae. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.